Yo, what is going on, everyone? I have another review video today. It is going to be on the G303 Shroud Edition. I'm going to obviously be making comparisons mainly to the G Pro Superlight because I do feel like that's the main competitor between the two mice. And first off, I do want to just apologize if my voice sounds a little messed up. I'm like just getting over a cold today. Haven't even been able to train for the past like 4 days because I've been feeling like shit. But yeah, anyway, on with the review. So I do want to immediately say, build quality is so pointless to talk about on Logitech mice. Obviously, this thing is an absolute tank. It's not going to creak. It's not going to flex. So don't worry about dropping it like my dumbass has when I unboxed it. So, you know, the feet also, I would agree to a lot of other reviewers that they are pretty paper thin. But in terms of overall glide, I really feel like you're not going to have an issue with these feet on most pads. I used it on a GPZ1. I used it on an Odin Eclipse. I used it on a GameSense Radar, obviously. I used it on a Artisan Hien and an Artisan Hayate Otsu. And it performed fine for all of them. Obviously, with speedier pads, because this is a heavier mouse, it was a little bit better. Just in terms of like speed for flicks, tracking was so much easier. So just be sure that like you know your sense and everything. You shouldn't have to change it either. I do feel like this is a mouse that you could get used to within a day. Like if you're used to the shape, which is what I want to talk about next. So normally you can tell from a lot of past reviews, I do own a lot of grips on my mice because I typically have sweatier hands. But I actually, although I do still have sweaty hands, it actually didn't really matter on this mouse because you can see right over here, there's like a little hook where I can just plant my fingers and they just don't move. I do have to change my grip for it though, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just because I have like small hands. I have 17 by 11 hands, so they're really wide, but they're really short. So it's like normally I would grip like a super light like this, where I'd push my palm more into like the back of the mouse because I'm a claw gripper. I like, this part of my hand being full. So I push that back and then I'll leave like my middle finger down like that. And then I'll have my pointer curled like that. But for this, I have to do a standard claw grip and I can't really rest my palm on my pad. I stopped using an arm sleeve because I like the control I get. But I can't do that with this mouse because you can see like I'm clicking like almost all the way up here. So I have to push it just a little bit more forward and uncurl my fingers a bit. So if you have larger hands, 20 by 11, you'll be perfectly fine with this mouse. Like honestly, I think you'll be fine. But other than like the hooks, the coding isn't the greatest. You can see like without any movement, it's just so easy to like move my fingers all the way across the mouse. And it's not a huge deal because my pointer and middle finger typically don't move when I am playing. But if you do have like even sweatier hands or you move like this for some reason, maybe invest in some grip tape. They don't have any ones made for the 303 now. I think they're gonna be made. You can get universal grip tapes and you'll be fine. In terms of click feeling, that's something I really wanted to talk about. So I did see a post saying, like complaining that they were using Omron 20Ms again, and I genuinely just don't give a shit anymore. It's so pointless to talk about what switches they use if the tensioning is really good. Like the clicks, I don't know if my mic can pick it up, but these are so fucking crispy. I actually thought they used KL 8.0s when I did unbox this mouse. It has been nothing but positive experiences with the mouse clicks. I haven't had any double clicks, obviously. And another thing is the scroll wheel. Whew, the scroll wheel is real nice. I gotta say, I really, really am a fan of the scroll wheel. It feels kind of weird actually. When you do this motion, you can like feel the hollowness of the mouse, which is really bizarre. But it is 75 grams, and as we've seen with like the super light, they can bring it down to 60. So I feel like this mouse is just kind of hollow. I'm obviously not gonna crack it open. I'm not a fucking guru. But just like when you pick it up and like put it down too, it has this weird like vibration feeling when you like set it back down. Not even like slamming it, but just like normal swipes like this. It feels kind of weird. So it is something like mentally you just have to be prepared for. It's kind of weird. So I want to say a little bit grippier than a super light scroll, only because it's thicker, but the rubber they use is really, really grippy, and it's really nice. It's also very, very tactile, has really good defined steps. And then another thing is like you can break down the weight by taking out this little compartment here, but it really does nothing. Like, it's 2 grams. I'm not going to notice it. I only took out the puck to test something out. So I did hear with bigger mouse feet, you feel more of the surface area. So if you're using a control pad, you're going to feel more control because the mouse feet are going to have more friction because the feet are bigger. So I took out the puck in my super light. I didn't just like, go from a fucking 75 gram mouse to a 60 gram. I played with the puck for a day and then without the puck for a day. And I will agree with that statement, actually. So the biggest thing is the feet might be too big for some people. I prefer feet like this. Be sure that what kind of pad you're going to be using. There's also no aftermarket feet for this mouse yet, so you are going to have to deal with kind of scratchiness on an artisan Hien or an artisan Hayate Otsu, but that is just dependent on how you feel about it. And if you've used the original super light feet, because they are the same. These are Tiger Ice feet, so I changed them out a while ago. They're super good on a control pad. If you know that you're maining a control pad, you just do not have to switch these out, unless you have a sick fucking addiction like I do. In terms of side buttons, they're positioned really well for claw grip. I never hit this side button ever, but this one, this one is really nice to use. It's really weird, actually. It like curves with the mouse, but it protrudes good. It's really fucking weird, actually, but it is like really nice to use. If you have bigger hands, obviously you're gonna hit mouse button 5 fine, but my hands are small, so I can't. Of like the sensor, I have no spin outs, no latency issues, obviously perfectly fine. You can trust Logitech tech. Like a really small comparison on battery life between these two. The Shroud edition, normally what I do when I get new wireless mice is I will plug it in and I would charge it all the way into 100%, and I charged the Shroud edition to about 90, and ever since, it's been like 5 days since I've used this mouse, and no, I'm sorry, it's been about 7 days of constant use, and it went from 90 to 74 in a week of constant use. And there have been times where like before I got sick, I would go to the gym and I would leave the mouse on by accident, and I know that it's in sleep mode, but that is still something I would like to talk about, just because it could be in case. So the mouse has outlasted my super light like incredibly. That is like insane to go from 90 to 74 on one charge. That's really insane. So maybe it could be heavier because the mouse has a bigger battery. I'm not too sure as to why they made it so heavy. Maybe Shroud prefers heavier mice. That is perfectly fine. I'm not one to argue with a fucking aim god. In terms of would I recommend this mouse over a super light, I genuinely just cannot do that. There is no point to getting a G303 if you don't claw. So if you fingertip, if you palm, there is no reason to get this mouse over a super light. It is $20 more and you get the safest shape on the market right now. Like, yeah, people might complain, oh, it's not a fucking master of one shape. Who gives a fuck? It is gonna suit almost every single hand size and every grip. That is fucking insane to even be able to say about one mouse. Like, the fact that it's only a $20 difference is just unbelievable. There obviously is like that creator tax that is put on when people make a mouse and stuff, but $130 for a 75 gram mouse. The main thing this thing has is shape, if you love the old G303, or it also has an incredible battery life, and it has probably the best clicks I've ever felt on a Logitech mouse in a long time. That is the only things it has going for it. What does a super light have? Way better weight, removable feet over here, so you can minus out that extra friction that you get with bigger mouse feet. You get still an insane battery life. Not as good as the G303, don't get me wrong, but it's still incredible. I've charged this thing 3 times, and I've had it for like almost a year. That is crazy. And like I can't recommend a G303 over a super light. So if you were going to get the mouse, I would honestly just suggest to just get a G Pro Superlight. It's gonna be better, especially if you're not a fan of aggressive shapes. They do have, like, over here, it's gonna be much like smoother. So gripping it even aggressively, it's still gonna be nice on your palm. It's not gonna be too sharp. Yeah, that's pretty much all for the review. I will do like a full breakdown between the two mice, probably in a later video. I do have my Model O minus being delivered today, so I will post a review on that. Maybe an unboxing, I'm not too sure. I do want to rip that fucking mouse apart because it is glorious. But yeah, if I left anything out, please let me know in the comments. I am more than happy to answer every single comment that I get, obviously. But yeah, I hope you all have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
And I let you both in to take it down.
Losing objective Bacon.
He sat here just being a troll the entire evening. Alright, Thunder and Joe, keep saying that. You will be banned. Ban A-list action, please.
Oh, 8 helicopters, man.
Attacking objective Charlie 1.
Come on,
The guy pushing you, Colossal.
Yeah.
Behind you.
I'm healing.
What's up?
I'm fucking going off right here.
I can see you from up here, so I'll let you know. The guy's trying to pull a fast one on you.
Dude, they keep spawning on the spawn beacon, please. Like,